By now, if you've watched this channel before, you probably know that I'm a fan of Mackie PA speakers. I've slowly been transitioning my inventory over to their products, and I've been very impressed as I've gotten to know the different speaker lines that they offer, whether it be the more affordable Thrash entry-level series, the very well-known Thump series, or even their new Thrash Go battery-powered set of speakers. But a little while back, I took a look at their SRM212 subwoofer. It's their flagship top-of-the-line subwoofer. It has crazy output, it's big and it's heavy, and I just got to thinking I really need a top to match the caliber of the subwoofer. And enter the Mackie SRM212 V-Class. This is Mackie's flagship portable PA speaker. It has a load of power, a load of features. It is a beast of a PA cabinet, and today I'm going to walk you through all of the important specs, features that you need to know about with this. Take a look at the back control panel, the different settings within the full color menu, talk about my experience using this at a real event, and then let you know whether I think it's worth grabbing one for yourself. Let's dive into it. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Phase Reviews YouTube channel. My name is Jordan. If you're new here, thank you for joining me. If you're a subscriber, welcome back as always. Today, like I mentioned, I've got the Mackie SRM212 V-Class. And before we dive into talking about this speaker, which we're gonna do right now, make sure that you like the video, leave a comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell so that you don't miss any content coming in the future. The SRM212 V-Class is Mackie's flagship speaker. While they do offer the DRM wood cabinet line, from talking to Mackie's representatives, it seems that this is more aimed for the install market, bit heavier, bit bulkier, not as uniform of a shape. The SRM series really is made for those of you that are out gigging each and every week. We're going to talk about the build quality, the construction, all the features, the ins and the outs. But before I do that, if you haven't already read a lot of the specs, let me read you off a few important ones. Now, sitting near the $1,000 mark, this is going to be firmly in the competition of the more high-end speaker ranges from a lot of the major manufacturers, and it has the specs to back it up. Now, inside we've got our 12-inch woofer, like I mentioned, and a 1.4-inch horn tweeter, 2,000 watts of Class D amplifier power. And if you've watched this channel before, you know that I don't have a high opinion of watts because they don't really tell us much about the output. But what is important is the 135 dB max SPL, which is monstrous and really on par with the most expensive prosumer lines from the major manufacturers. It has a 42 hertz to 20,000 kilohertz frequency range. It has a 60-degree vertical coverage and a 90-degree horizontal coverage, pretty standard values there. It is a molded plastic exterior. You've got side handles, you've got top handles, you have multiple DSP presets. This comes in at 26 inches high, 14 inches wide, 15 inches deep, and 40.6 pounds. Now, of the speakers that I have looked at on this channel from Mackie, I would say this is by far the bulkiest, the heaviest, and that's just, I think, pointing to the size of the magnets inside, the quality of the components. When I'm spending this kind of money, I want it to feel like it is made well. Now, the cabinet design, it's got a nice coating, not too prone to scratching. Granted, I've kept them in padded bags. Mackie makes awesome rolling zippered padded bags that I've been using with these. They've kept them very well protected, but even without, I mean, I am of the opinion you should always use bags with your speakers, but even without, I think they would stand up to a lot of abuse. Now, the sides of the speaker have really, really nice handles, plenty of room even with a gloved hand to get in and pick these up. And then on the top, kind of a weird choice, if I can tilt this, this way, a flat handle in kind of a narrower clearance amount here, so a little bit tougher to pick that up from the top, although it is doable. I wouldn't want to carry this really long distances, but it does have the top handle if that makes getting it up onto a stand or in and out of your vehicle a bit easier. Now, this is a symmetrical cabinet design. It does have wedges on either side, so if you wanted to use this as a stage monitor, you absolutely could. On the front, we have a really nice looking modern grille. We've got the Mackie logo in the middle, and then the SRM badge right here at the bottom, and then two lights top and bottom. These can change color. They can be either the Mackie green, they can be a white, or they can be turned completely off depending on your needs for the venue. On the bottom of the speaker, let me tip this back. One of the things that I absolutely love to see, especially in speakers of this caliber, we've got two pole sockets, a standard vertical pole socket, and then a angled down pull socket. So if you can get this up above the heads of your crowd, point it down, you're not going to waste as much energy on the ceiling of your venue, which I really, really like to see. Now, let's flip the speaker around, take a look at the ins and outs on the back. Looking at the backside of the SRM212 V-Class, you can't see it, but down below we do have our standard IEC power input as well as our power switch. And here is our mixing section. This is technically a 4-channel mixer. You've got 2 combo XLR 1/4-inch inputs right here with their own dedicated direct output for passing the signal through to a daisy chain speaker or to a recording device or another mixer. And then on the right, we've got a combo aux input as well as Bluetooth control. This does have wireless capability. Not only can you link this to your phone for music playback, but you can link 2 speakers together for wireless stereo transmission, which is really nice. At the bottom, we have our mix output, again for daisy chaining. This will take all of the effects and the inputs summed together and send it out as a single chain. Now, each one has its own dedicated gain control, and then up here we'll be able to adjust a lot of the global settings and the master volume control. Now, at Unity, this is kind of your line level control up to the middle. Past that, you're going to get into, additional gain, be it for a mic or this high Z input right here for an instrument. Now we've got our large control knob right here, and to the left of that we have our digital display. Looks the same as the DRM subwoofer that I have in the garage right now. We can see channel 1, 2, Bluetooth, and Unity. So we've got our channels as well as our master gain right there on the right. And if I use this, I can adjust that master volume level with my finger like so. Okay, now that's all the way down, all the way up at Unity. Now if I click that, I'll be able to scroll through the different channels, channel 1, 2, and Bluetooth, and clicking individual channels, again, I can adjust the volume on here if I don't want to use these dedicated hardware controls. But more importantly with this knob, I can go down to the bottom right here, and we can see that each channel has its own 3-band EQ as well as a high-pass filter. So channel 1, channel 2, 3-band EQ, and a high-pass filter. Same on this one. The third channel, the Bluetooth, does not have the high pass filter, just the 3-band EQ. And then lastly, this bottom right is going to be our menu. So the menu has 6 different sub-menus that you can enter. Our mixer just takes us back to that screen right there. The mode allows you to choose from some of the EQ modes. I was doing an outdoor wedding without subwoofer, so I have it set on the club mode, which gives me a little more low end, as well as outside. Now, this is a really nice feature. If you're using this in an outdoor space, you can choose the outside venue option, and it will adjust a lot of the EQ parameters so that the sound is optimized for an open space. Really, really like that. Here we have our sub settings. You can choose the SRM18 or the DRM sub, so they already have built-in crossover settings for that, or you can do a variable and select your own cutoff point, which is really nice. So I have the DRM sub, which is what I would use, but it's not hooked up right now, so I'll take that back to off. Okay, going to the delay. If you're going to use this as a delay speaker away from the main stage area, you can select that, and they've got it in either milliseconds or feet. So it's really nice. As you roll up the milliseconds, it will tell you how far this speaker would be away from the main speakers. Really, really nice. And then we've got our Bluetooth menu. Again, it's paired to my phone right now. It says not linked, so if I turn on my other SRM212 speaker and click connect, it will pair the speakers together. You can even select if it's stereo or mono and whether this is the left or the right speaker. A lot of functionality there. Last is our config menu. This tells you whether channel 1 and channel 2 are line or mic or high Z. Turn the front LED on, off, or change the color, green, white, or multiple color. You've got the LCD screen. You can adjust the dimming there. Lock this, adjust your Bluetooth settings, and then look at the about information for the speaker. So that is all the different menu options on the built-in full color display. Took this out to a wedding, an outdoor wedding with around 120 people. I think this top was probably overkill for that setting, but it's always better to have more horsepower than less, and it did phenomenally. A rather large space outdoors, having to cover 2 areas, a sport court and a grass lawn seating area for the dinner portion. I never had to get even close to the potentials of this speaker, and the sound was extremely full, extremely rich, and sounded amazing from every space in the venue. The horn carried extremely far. Walking around the side of the house, probably 200 to 300 feet away from the source of the speaker, I could hear the vocals of the music very, very clearly. As I got closer and as we transitioned to the dancing portion of the night, the low end was surprisingly full despite not having a subwoofer. Now, I did put this in the club mode because I wasn't pushing these to their max. I could do that without a lot of distortion, and the sound was very, punchy, right in your face. This isn't going to have a lot of the sub, bass, low frequencies in your hip hop and your EDM, but it does reach down rather far for a lot lot of dance music, especially 4 on the floor type stuff. This was very punchy, in your face. When I transitioned, or rather when I started with more acoustic dinner type music, vocal focused music, it was very clear, very rich. And using the microphones for toasts at this wedding, you could hear everyone very clearly, despite some poor microphone technique from those giving toasts. As far as the sound quality, I really have no complaints. I think this needs to go out to a school dance or a larger event to really push this to the max. But in the setting of 100 people, even on a dance floor at pretty loud volumes, this had no signs of slowing down and no signs of audible distortion that I could hear. I loved the fact that I could just put this in outside mode, put it in club mode, and have a very robust sound system despite not having a subwoofer and being in an open environment. So there you have it. That is the Mackie SRM212 V-Class. It's a phenomenal flagship model from Mackie, and I think it could make a great addition to any DJ's arsenal as their main workhorse speaker. I don't need to name drop a lot of the competitors' models. You know what this speaker is up against, and in my opinion, having heard all of those, I've used those over my 10 years as a DJ, I think this really stands up and can run with the rest of the pack and maybe even exceed them in some aspects. The DSP is extremely helpful and very straightforward to use. The sound is full despite being only a 12-inch woofer, and there's plenty of output. I've not hit the limits of this speaker yet. When I do, I'll post an updated video and let you know how it sounds at the limits of its performance. But overall, it's a great value for the price, and I don't think you'd go wrong in picking it up. So if you want to read more about it, I'll include a link down below. You can go check it out, check out the specs, read some reviews. If you buy through that link, it supports the channel. I would of course love you for it. It doesn't cost you anything. But if not, I'd love to have you subscribe and ring that notification bell. Let me know what you think of this speaker down in the comments. Like the video. All of that helps me to keep bringing you content each and every week. That's going to be it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.